Book 9, The Man Who Became Nobody, a Manual of Effortless Power. Introduction. The paradox of the doer. The prince was awake. He was the space. He was the silence. But the world kept demanding things from him. Build a house, said the world. Fight the war, said the world. Love me, said the world. The prince tried to act, but every time he tried, he felt the heavy coat of the ego slipping back onto his shoulders. How can I do anything, he asked, without becoming the doer? This is the story of how the prince learned that he didn't need to push the river, he just needed to be the water. Chapter 1. The archer who became the wind. Anybody stood in a field during a gale. He held a bow made of black horn. The target was 100 yards away. The wind was howling, bending the trees, tearing the leaves from the branches. I cannot hit it, he thought. The wind is the master. A master archer stood beside him. He was blind. His eyes were sewn shut. You cannot hit the target, said the master, because you are aiming at it. Where should I aim? Asked anybody. Do not aim, said the master. Become the wind. Anybody closed his eyes. He felt the gale pushing against his skin. Usually he fought the wind. He braced his legs. He tightened his grip. He made himself hard. Stop fighting, whispered the master. The wind is not your enemy. It is your vehicle. Anybody relaxed. He let the wind enter his body. He felt the currents of the air as if they were his own muscles. He realized that the wind wasn't out there. It was a movement occurring inside his own awareness. He didn't shoot into the wind. He aligned his will with the storm. He released the arrow. Thwack! The arrow didn't fly straight. It curved. It danced. It rode the gale like a surfer riding a wave. It flew around a tree. It struck the dead center of the target. How? Asked anybody. I didn't do it, said the master. The storm did it. I just gave the storm a sharp point. Chapter 2. The sword. That cut water. Anybody walked into a war. Two armies were fighting in a muddy valley. The red army and the blue army. Choose a side, they shouted. Pick a color. Anybody drew his sword. It was made of the finest steel. I will cut the enemy, he thought. He swung the sword at a blue soldier. But as the steel bit into the flesh, anybody screamed. He felt the cut on his own arm. He felt the burning of the blood. Stop, he cried, dropping the sword. I am hurting myself. A general rode up on a black horse. You are soft, he spat. That is the enemy, you are separate. No, shouted anybody. In the moment of contact there is no two, there is only the sensation of the cut, and I am the cut as much as he is. The general laughed. He raised a massive battle axe. Then die. He swung the axe at anybody's neck. Anybody didn't block, he didn't parry. He dropped his resistance. He became water. The axe passed through him. It didn't miss. It passed through the space where his solidity used to be. The general fell off his horse, overbalanced by hitting nothing. Anybody realized the ultimate martial art. You cannot kill water. You cannot cut smoke. If you have no self to defend, you are invincible. Chapter 3. The dancer who never moved. Anybody walked into a dance hall. The music was fast and wild. People were spinning, sweating, jumping. He saw a dancer in the center. She was spinning so fast she was a blur, but her face was perfectly still. Her eyes were calm pools of silence. How do you do that? Asked anybody. You are moving at 1,000 miles an hour. I am not moving, said the dancer, whizzing past him. The world is moving around me. Teach me, said anybody. Find the axis, she said. Anybody tried to spin. He got dizzy. The room blurred. He fell down and vomited. I am sick, he groaned. The motion is too much. You are dizzy because you are watching the wall, said the dancer. You are watching the scenery. Don't look at the blur, look at the center. Anybody stood up. He found the vertical line running through his spine, the thread of gravity. He started to spin faster. The room blurred. The colors melted into a gray streak. But inside the spin, there was a point of absolute dead stillness. The eye of the hurricane. He spun for an hour. He didn't get dizzy. He didn't get tired because he wasn't spinning. The universe was spinning around his stillness. He realized that all action happens on the periphery. The center never moves. The center just witnesses. Chapter 4. The lover who disappeared. Anybody met a lover? She was beautiful. She was fascinating. He wanted to possess her. He wanted to say, you are mine. He hugged her. He squeezed tight. I will never let you go, he whispered. But the tighter he squeezed, the further away she felt. Her body was there, but her spirit was slippery. It leaked out of his grip. "You are crushing me," she gasped. "I am trying to be one with you," cried anybody. "You cannot be one if there are two of you pushing against each other," she said. "Then how do we merge, disappear?" Anybody loosened his grip. He looked into her eyes. He stopped thinking, "I am anybody loving her." He stopped thinking, "She is her loving me." He just looked at the light in her eyes. He realized it was the same light that was looking out of his eyes. It was one light looking at itself through two windows. The prince vanished. The woman vanished. There was just loving. A circuit closed. The current flowed. There was no friction, no grasping, no need, just a silent electrical hum of union. Chapter 5. The man who built a bridge of smoke. Anybody walked to the edge of a chasm. It was a mile deep. At the bottom, jagged rocks waited. On the other side was the city of peace, but there was no bridge. "I must build a bridge," thought anybody. He looked for stones. There were none. He looked for wood. There was none. "I am stuck," he cried. "I cannot cross." A worker appeared. He held a bucket of fog. "Build with this," said the worker. "You cannot build with fog," shouted anybody. "It has no weight. It will not hold me." "It will hold you," said the worker, "if you are light enough." Anybody looked at the chasm. Looked at the fog. He realized he had to leave his weight behind. He took off his history and left it on the bank. He took off his opinions. He took off his name. He became a ghost. He stepped onto the fog. It held him. It felt solid, not because the fog was hard, but because he was soft. He walked across the chasm on a bridge made of mist. When he reached the other side, he looked back. The bridge was gone. "How did I do that?" he wondered. "You didn't," said the city. "You were already here. The bridge was just a permission slip you gave yourself to arrive." Anybody smiled. He sat down in the city of peace. He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything. He just sat there vibrating, realizing that he was the bridge, the chasm, and the city all at once. He was the man who did nothing. And because he did nothing, nothing was left undone.